the meaning of happiness. Wait. What is it? How can you get it? Go. So I started training as a violinist. Is that going to go? Yeah. I started training as a violinist at the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. And from here, I started looking at occupational stress and well-being, particularly in musicians. So it's quite a stressful and competitive environment. So what is well-being? Well-being is a term we use for happiness in research, and we have lots of different terms that we use. We might call it positive emotion, affect, quality of life, satisfaction, or flourishing. Well-being can be defined objectively or subjectively. So subjectively, the person gets to decide what well-being means to them. Objectively, we have predefined criteria within research that we can use. Well-being can be both process-driven or outcome-driven. From a process-driven perspective, we have 6 different factors. So those include environmental mastery, autonomy, self-acceptance. From an outcome-driven perspective, we look at 3 different factors. We think about positive emotions, negative emotions, and satisfaction with life. So why should you care about well-being? From the research, we know that people with higher well-being tend to experience better health. They might live longer, have better jobs, more money, and better social connections, something we'd all like. So what can you do to improve your well-being? So first, I'll look at those processes that I mentioned. So environmental mastery. What skills do you have? What are your competencies? Do things that you're good at, whether that's playing an instrument or a sport. Be independent. Think about your own choices. Don't follow the crowd. When you evaluate yourself, think about your own internal evaluation standards, not how society sees you. Self-acceptance. Think about your positive qualities and how those are reflected in your actions. Think about how your beliefs are reflected in those qualities. Also take time to acknowledge the not so good qualities about yourself and how those fit in with your life. Think about your friends, family, your relationships with others. Social connections are really important for well-being. Nurture those relationships. Think about how you can give back in those relationships and not just receive. Consider what's important. What goals do you have? What's the meaning of your life? What's your purpose? How do your beliefs support those goals? Think about how you can expand your horizons. Take opportunities that are presented to you. How can you realise your potential? How can you be a better person and contribute more? So next, I'll talk about subjective well-being. That's called hedonic well-being in the research. And from this perspective, the individual gets to decide what makes them happy. So what activities they do is up to them. We look at the outcomes from that. And the first question we ask is about positive emotions. We ask people how often have they experienced positive emotions, maybe in the last week or the last month. Emotions like being inspired, determined, feeling attentive, active, interested, enthusiastic, engaged, and strong. We also ask about not so good emotional experiences. Okay? We ask, how often have you felt upset, hostile, ashamed, guilty, scared? And thirdly, we ask about satisfaction. And we tend to ask the question, how satisfied are you with your life as a whole? We might also ask, how satisfied are you with your job, with your relationships, with your marriage? Research also shows that engagement is important for well-being. So that's doing activities where you're completely absorbed. You're so absorbed you don't notice the environment around you. You find your flow. You're completely engaged with that activity. So what else can you do to improve your well-being? Some research conducted by the New Economics Foundation for the UK government found these 5 pathways to well-being, and you'll notice that GIVE is up there. So volunteering is one really effective way that you can improve your well-being, whether it be doing something like this event here or finding ways that you can give back to your community. There's also advice on NHS websites about how to manage stress, boost your mood. If you're looking for places to go if you're feeling low, you can look here. And places like Action for Happiness run courses which are open to the public, and they have these nice calendars. So today's task, 25th of September, is for you to ask a friend what what they like about you. Thank you.